In this video, we'll be talking about creating a rotation widget for myCNC to be able to rotate the imported G-code files by a specified angle. So this is very similar to this widget right here for rotations, and out of it we'll be using this section which has buttons 1 and 2. So for those of you who would like to maybe strip this down a little bit or create your own, this will be a good instruction manual. So here I have my regular plasma cutting profile X1366P, and I have modified it slightly already to include these buttons at the top, in the top navigation bar right here. So these are buttons 1, 2, and 0, as well as this display value for my angle. And this will be my rotation angle, exactly by how much I'd like to turn my control program by. So let's first run through a sample example of my rotation, and then actually go into depth about how I've implemented it. We first press button number 1 to remember our first coordinate point in which we are currently in, and then we are moving a certain distance. So here, let's say I'd like to move 50 to the right and 50 upwards. And now you remember, or you store this point as point number 2. And as soon as you press this, the program file will rotate by 45 degrees in this case. Why 45? Well, because the distance from, let's say, 0, 0 to 50, 50, if you draw a line, this line will be at a 45 degree angle. If, let's say, now we want to reset this, we press the 0 button, and it resets the file back to angle of 0 degrees. Let's say you'd like to rotate it the other way. We restore this first point, move right, and move downwards. Store this as your second point, and now you can see that the angle is equal to negative 45 degrees, which we can also reset. Alright, so now let's talk about how we actually implement this and how we are doing it through using global variables 8199 and 8195. And to do this, we'll be navigating to our profile folder. So this is essentially our XML editing manual, which you may recognize. So go to your home folder, .config, myCNC, profiles, and then select the profile you're currently using. For me, that will be X1366P. So here you have a number of XML files, and for the purposes of this exercise, I'll be using the very simplest option, which is to insert my buttons into this top navigation strip right here, my navigation bar. And this can be done by simply opening up the CNC screen.xml file. And here within it, I have added this rotation block. So now let's go through this rotation block and see what it actually contains. So first of all, I have my buttons 1 and 2 here. 1 and 2. I have my 0 button, and I have my angle value right here. So my buttons 1 and 2 have actions tied to them, which say CNC variable vset 8199/1 and 8199/2 right here. So all this does is whenever you press that button, 1 or 2, it stores a 1 or a 2 within global variable 8199. So whenever you store a value of 1 within it, it saves that point or that coordinate point as point 1, and vice versa, this is the point 2. Next we have the 0 button, which I have right here for my reset, which also has an action tied to it that basically says vset 8195/0. So all this does is it writes a 0 within global variable 8195. So global variable 8195 is my angle, it's my rotational angle. So let's say I rotate this by 45 degrees. If we go into our global variables window, you can see that my global variable 8195 is 45, same as it is here. And next I simply have a display right here to display the angle value with some sort of a label to make it more convenient and a little easier to understand for the operator. This block of code will be provided at the link at the bottom of the screen right here. So you can simply copy it, modify it, and add it to your own profile if you so require. Of course, you can also edit this quite extensively. You can add things such as the actual coordinate values for these points. You can change this, you can make this as close or as different from the official rotation widget as necessary, etc., etc. But this should cover the basics of implementing a rotation widget using global variables. Thank you for watching. If you have any more information, please visit our documentation at docs.pvautomation.com.